Hey, it's David Breslow back here with you again, and today's mental golf training tip, I want to talk to you about consistency. Consistency and power seem to be the number one and number two things that most people, most golfers I talk to, want more of. So let's talk about consistency for a minute. It's really interesting that golfers tend to think that consistency is based on practice. So the logical thinking is, hey, if I go to the driving range and I work on my swing and I work on my consistency, I work on my rhythm, this will make me more consistent on the golf course. Now, that kind of thinking isn't bad, of course. It's not wrong. It's certainly one aspect of it, but just like everything else on the golf course, if you've heard any of my videos before or read anything about what I do, everything starts up here, and that includes consistency. So while practicing physical things certainly helps you gain more consistency, practicing internal things will be more important and actually the catalyst to produce the physical consistencies that you're looking for on the golf course. So what do I mean by that? Consistency on the golf course starts with consistent thinking. Because what happens on the course is when your thinking starts to change, your consistency starts to become affected. When your thinking starts to change, your physical golf swing begins to change. So everything really does start up here. So when you're thinking consistently, that creates consistent feelings. This is the sequence I'm giving you right now, is the consistent sequence that produces outcomes. Thought first, then feeling or emotion second, and then physical behavior, meaning behavior itself or the physical body, tension, muscle tension, stress, and so on. And then the fourth element is the outcome. You're always going to get an outcome from this process. So everything begins here. If you want to go to the core trigger of consistency, go here. Think consistently. What are you thinking when you go to the first tee? What are you thinking after you've played a few good holes and then all of a sudden you're on to the next hole and it's like, I'm playing really well right now. Your thinking just changed, didn't it? Think consistently first. So I'm going to give you an exercise. Sit down with a piece of paper and write down the thoughts that you tend to have at the beginning of a round, or after you miss a shot, after you miss a putt, for example, or after you hit a poor shot. What is it you are thinking? And be honest with yourself. Because there's a pre-law in the 7 laws program that I teach. The pre-law, which is not one of the 7, but that law is, the more honest I am with myself, the quicker I get what I want. So be honest with yourself. And that's true for everybody. That's why it's a law. Be completely honest with yourself. What are you thinking? Don't fool yourself, because your body and your emotions and your outcomes aren't fooled. They are reacting to what you're thinking. So consistent thinking equals consistent feeling equals consistent behavior, and that's all physicality, which means consistent golf swing, equals consistent outcomes. This is a process you cannot break. You cannot argue with it. You cannot do anything with it except start putting better ingredients into that recipe. It's a recipe. Put some good ingredients in there. Consistent thoughts equal consistent feelings equal consistent behavior, physicality, equal consistent outcomes. Dave Breslow. Visit me over at www.mentalgolfcoaching.com and certainly leave me a message here in cyberspace. Would love to get into a chat with you. Take care.